Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and I truly do not know how to begin this video, if we're being quite honest, but we're going to talk about how apparently Jeffrey Epstein told Bobby Kotick, the manager, the CEO, the owner of Activision Blizzard, he told him to invent microtransactions. Now, there's always been cheap DLC. I mean, since pretty much downloadable content existed, there's been tiny transactions that weren't full-blown stuff, right? Horse armor that's $3 and stuff, but there has been a specific change from DLC to microtransactions that I think a lot of us universally consider to be an ultimate evil, especially because so many people do get addicted to it. Games like Call of Duty, games that had those early first loot boxes. This is Call of Duty World War II. One of the things you actually had to do in this game that is absolutely true, part of what made this game so controversial, is that there were daily quests where you had to watch other people open those loot crates. Basically, you'd spend $5 a day to get some sort of random gun skin or some cool character model and stuff, but they also wanted to make it where you got into that gameplay loop of not just buying them, but watching them, be excited about other people's boxes. Well, apparently, this did not just come out of thin air. It actually came from discussions with Jeffrey Epstein. I can't believe this is real. Let's take a look at the evidence because it's wild just how the most evil man of all time just made everything everywhere instantly worse. Let's talk. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, we're not going to get into the politics of this. Obviously, there's a lot of people in the freaking Epstein style. I mean, a shocking amount. On Friday, they released an extra couple thousand pages. They should release all of it. I don't know why it's also redacted, but what matters is that, yes, there's a lot of politicians. There's a lot of billionaires. There's a lot of people that pretty much run the world that are in there and are never, ever going to jail. But this was funny to me. So there's multiple phases to this. Apparently, Jeffrey Epstein was super on board with Call of Duty when they started inventing like their upcoming blackout mode and stuff. He actually emailed his people saying, oh yeah, Call of Duty is going to be the biggest thing ever. Let's go ahead and invest all our money in Activision Blizzard. That's pretty funny, especially because he saw COD points abbreviated to CP and said, yeah, let me get Jeffrey in on this. But here's the discussion. This keeps getting deleted over and over again. I see seeing this posted all over Reddit. Some people don't really like to discuss this, but as you can see, these are direct links to justice.gov. This isn't a repost. This isn't like photoshopped. These are the actual emails directly from the Epstein files. I mean, this is just literally court case evidence. I know some people are trying to claim the Epstein files are fake. I really don't understand that stuff. These are just direct conversations with the president of Call of Duty Activision. Look at this. Oh my God. But a lot of people are instantly being like, oh yeah, Microsoft owns Call of Duty. Oh yeah, Bill Gates, also in the Epstein files a lot, right? Advisor to the current CEO. Bobby Kotick being the files is the least surprising detail of them. I'm all for indoctrinating kids into the economy. Let me take a look at this quote, right? I'm all for indoctrinating kids into the economy. Now, this stuff is filled with crazy amounts of typos. I mean, I have no idea if he was using text-to-speech or, I mean, these people are just, they don't have souls. They clearly don't care about their typos, right? So here's their idea. X Prize is a good idea, but the real key is real-world rewards. Learn to read, cell phone minutes, iPhone credits, virtual items, and games. This is something that I have spoken out against now for almost 10 years, which is that I just don't like the idea that I do think that part of the problem with loot crates isn't just the randomization. It's not just the fact that, you know, you're not paying directly for what you're trying to get out of it. I think a big problem is that for a lot of people that get addicted to these microtransactions, it's because you create this gap between the money spent and the reward, right? All right, I'm paying $20 to get $40 of Call of Duty points, right? You know, it's not really that. It's to try and get you thinking like you're getting a good deal when really you're wasting money. They're converting it into credits. You don't just buy the loot crate, you buy the coins, which buys the loot crate. Oh, I've got a bunch of that free currency. And this is literally them pitching that idea. Instead of just having cell phone minutes or iPhone cards, it's all this virtual currency. And they're straight up saying, The whole point was to indoctrinate kids into the economy. I love this. Real world rewards, virtual items, and games. Now, This name Pablos, this is basically Pablos Holman was like one of the main financial advisors to Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of bad stuff there as well. But a lot of this is literally just a bunch of billionaires talking about how best to exploit people. And there's just tons of stuff like this. It is wild to see that literally here they are talking about, you can see here's Bobby Kotick talking about how he's about to meet Elon Musk, that he had all these great ideas for hanging out with girls at SpaceX. This was a funny one I saw a lot of people sharing around. Jeffrey Epstein was perma-banned from Xbox Live. Now, people are trying to figure this out. It says, oh, you're permanently banned due to threats, harassment, or abuse of other players. Apparently, this is actually just a formality. Apparently, Xbox went in, apparently like in 2013, they actually went in and started talking to the government and basically said, all right, let's get the official email of everybody currently on like watch lists for hurting people. I'm trying to be vague so I don't get demonetized. They took like the master list of all the offenders and went ahead and put it in. So they literally just auto banned him. But it is funny about the idea. Apparently there's leaks about, apparently people have dug up the fact that Epstein was also talking to people in World of Warcraft and stuff. I mean, this dude was clearly all in on the Xbox and the Activision Blizzard experiment. But this to me is just extra weird. It's just the idea that something so malicious, so baked in, so core to the downfall of current games being invented by such an evil person, right? But it's also just the fact that I almost feel like this is kind of the weird part about video games as an art form. I'm very, very big about storytelling in games and cool cutscenes and big flashy bombastic moments. And I feel like we've hit this point. I almost feel like this is the line in the sand for me a lot of times, that 2013 era where it wasn't just about profitability. It wasn't just about making your games as cheap as possible. It wasn't just about having the highest sales numbers as you could get. It did feel like we hit this point where they started saying, all right, how much value can we extract out of every single player? How cheap can the game be to make? How many microtransactions can it have? How much can we really abuse these kids before they stop giving us their cash? I really do feel like if you had to point to a particular point where things shifted as much as possible to the dark side, this does feel like that line where we went from games trying to be cool stories and get their profit, and when they started to be about profit and how little you can actually get out of it. This stuff is wild. I mean, it's not like any of these people are going to jail. Bobby Kotick's going to go retire on his own personal island, but man, all these people suck. Let me refresh this to end the video off here because I'll be honest, they keep deleting this from the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit. Oh, man. But this is pretty funny. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about... Oh, God. I don't want to say how do you feel about the Epstein files because they're bad. I mean, they literally ate kids. Do not read these documents. Do not read these documents. My God. Oh, my God. They ate kids. And then they also made microtransactions. Thanks for watching this video. If you could please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Might need to give my eyeballs a bath. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.